You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Can't wait to recap what's been going on over the past week. For whatever reason, this certainly seems like it's been just an action-packed, a bigger week. I can't wait to share with you many of those details and also what you will see coming up in just the next 4 to 6 weeks. I always want to share with you what's going on first so that you know what you can look forward to in our community. And of course, I want your feedback. I love your feedback, love hearing your success stories, and also what we can do more for you. I mean, that's the thing. We are a global functional medicine practice that strives to do better. Like, we know we're not perfect. We really do. And we simply work every single day and every single month to make that happen. Many of you don't know, we have a virtual-based team and a virtual-based company. We get together every 90 days. And our last meeting was in beautiful Miami, Florida. Typically, they're in Boston, where I live. I have people come to Boston. You know, what we do at these meetings is we just look at how we can improve shipping times, how we can improve packaging, how we can improve formulations. I mean, we're always looking, how can we improve for our community? We want to be the best for you. That's our goal, to be the best for you. Not to be the best to beat anybody else in the industry. It's to be the best for you. We are customer focused, and that's really what we want for you. So how can we continue to get you the best labs? We just added 2 more labs last month, the complete heavy metal detox, and we also added the mind and body and neurotransmitters lab to look at mood, to look at what might be going on with anxiety, PTSD, depression, ADD, ADHD, etc. So, you know, again, we're always looking to step up our game. We love your feedback, and I just wanted you to know that's what we're all about here. That's what gets us up in the morning, and that's what we continue to strive to do. So I want to get started just real quickly, welcoming our new integrative health practitioners. Well, we're now obviously closed up, but it's really great on our monthly calls to be able to check in with our new members and also those people that have been with us from the beginning for about the last 14 months or so. We've got a lot of big things planned. We really do. We have our Australia event coming up very soon. I'm putting together all of my presentations right now as we speak. So that will be in Sydney, Australia, the first week of March. Taking the whole family, looking forward to heading over there and being able to see and experience Australia myself for the first time and getting to meet a lot of people and a lot of our IHPs as well in Australia. Coming up later in the year, we're trying to finalize our world event. So our IHP world event coming this September, and super excited about that as well, September, October. But more importantly, it's just what I love seeing inside of our IHP community is the growth and the sharing of information. A lot of our IHPs have taken more to social media and Instagram. They're posting, they're sharing their knowledge, they're sharing the work that we're doing. So I'd love to see that, and I just wanted to give a shout out to our community there. And if you don't know about IHP, so first of all, we have a course just to learn more about the de-stress protocol, exactly what we do in our practice. You actually get all 50 handouts that we use in our practice. You get everything. Even if you don't even want to become a health coach, we offer that at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. It's basically the Rain Barrel Effect book, but expanded to 40 plus hours of video teaching. And you can go at your own pace. It's a lifetime membership. Currently, it's a lifetime membership as of recording this podcast. And then we have level 1 and we have level 2 for the certification over there. To learn more about it, you can simply go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org and download this brand new brochure that we created. It's a digital brochure. Really beautiful job the team did. Super proud of that. So check that out if you have a moment. Okay. Next up, and again, we're always looking to upgrade. I think I talked about with you last week about the new stephencabral.com website. Well, coming up soon. So I know not yet. I'm always saying soon, but in about 6 or 7 weeks, the podcast is going to become a video podcast as well. So I don't know about you. This is not everybody. I love watching a podcast, even if it's just a person sitting there speaking. Is kind of strange. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but also interviews, etc. So this is something that I like. People have requested it. Can we do a video-based podcast? Working on that right now. It's simply logistics, that's all. It's being able to be in a spot where I can record on video every single time. So I'm making it easier on myself, making it easier on my team. And so we are going to be launching a video-based podcast. The video will be on YouTube. It'll be on the StephenCabral.com web page, which it actually used to be for the first 50 podcasts I ever did, believe it or not. Well, this will be much more upgraded. This will be a lot nicer than those first few videos. And then we'll do a video podcast on iTunes as well. So I'm excited about that. I really am. I love just trying to, again, step up my own game. Like, what more can I do in terms of delivering content? So there's going to be the video podcast probably starting, if I had to really say, probably the first week of April. So I know it's about 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks or so from now, but it's happening. And I need to pre-record those. So it's not the same as it used to be because I need to make sure that I'm in that spot, but I'm dedicated to doing this. I really am. And then what I'm looking to do on top of that is about 3 teaching videos per week. These are going to be about 10 minutes, and they're going to be on a specific topic. We're going to put them over on equilibriumnutrition.com with our new content-based section. And of course, I'm going to put them on YouTube. So I'm dedicated to really growing our YouTube-based community and teaching there. Because people have said, okay, you're doing the podcast, audio, but you're not doing any video, you're not doing any teaching there. And they're right. It's something that I've wanted to do for many years. So I agree. And it's something that I'm dedicated to. So I'm going to have a videographer come in once or twice a month, and we're going to shoot on average about 12 videos for the month. So excited about that. And then one more thing that I'm really dedicating myself to do, that again, it's just time. That's all it is. It's just time. Just like many of you, it's kind of like, well, it's a priority, but where do we fit it in? Is I want to do more Facebook Lives. Those are going to take place at cabralsupportgroup.com. So if you're not already a member, I'm going to do more Facebook Lives there once a week. I want to check in, want to give you updates, want to teach on certain topics. Again, cabralsupportgroup.com takes you to our free Facebook group. So check that out. It's not just for the detox. It's for our whole community, about 8,000 members strong right now and growing, all referral-based, all organic of how we've really grown this global community. So whether you're from Iceland or you're from Australia, New Zealand, whether you're from Germany, anywhere in Europe, the United States, Canada, South America, Africa, you name it, come on over. We want to have you over inside of this Facebook group. So excited about just doing more video. I mean, that's it. I love to teach. It's my favorite thing to do. And I feel like when I'm doing video, I'm able to take the audio part, the podcast, to the next level. So the podcast isn't going anywhere. It's always going to be exactly how it is right now. We're just going to hopefully add on top of that for video for people that want more of that connection, which I love myself. Okay. Next up, I want to go back to favorite food of the week. So I got away just a little bit for a couple weeks on this. I'll add it in, when it's really on my mind, when I feel it's just one of those things that I want to chat about that week. So I've been doing a lot more. Well, I've been switching up the smoothies a little bit. So, I love my Purple Crush smoothie. But what I've been doing lately is adding a pitaya packet. So it's a frozen pitaya packet. I'll link them up today. Everything will be linked up at StephenCabral.com/1470 today. Okay, so I'll link up the pitaya packet at StephenCabral.com/1470. And I've been adding this frozen packet. And if you don't know about pitaya, it's dragon fruit. So it's a fun name, and then it's also called pitaya. So you call it a pitaya bowl, which is like this pink smoothie bowl that you can make into a smoothie bowl. And I know a lot of our Faster Way friends do their smoothie bowls as well. Well, here's the thing. Dragon fruits, naturally low in cholesterol. So if you're worried about your cholesterol intake, there's 0 cholesterol, I believe, or very, very low. Super high in fiber for a nice, healthy fruit. So it's going to help with that glycemic response and control. Very high in antioxidants, which makes it great in terms of a hopefully natural cancer preventative, great for squelching free radicals, great for your heart health, your vascular health, for basically blood pressure, and has been shown, now not everyone will do this, but you can actually get the powder or you can use the packets and you can, believe it or not, add it as a facial-based mask, which a lot of people do, believe it or not, over in Southeast Asia. And because of the antioxidants, they feel that it helps with overall skin longevity, health, glow. And part of the reason is this: it's loaded with vitamin C. And we know vitamin C is great for the skin, but also people that eat dragon fruit may have better levels of iron because the vitamin C in the dragon fruit, or the pitaya, same thing, help with the absorption of iron. So again, if you're someone who's low in iron, it could be because you're also low in vitamin C. So super important to get our vitamin C. Obviously, dragon fruit's not the only way to get that. And the last thing that I would add is it's also a great source of potassium, which is great for cellular signaling, great for healthy levels of blood pressure, and good for overall cellular energy. So what do? I add a packet of pitaya. I add a cup of frozen pineapple, or I just use organic pineapple, and add a little bit of coconut milk or coconut cream with water, and I blend it up with my vanilla daily nutritional support powder, and I have a delicious smoothie. It's one that I give to my girls because it's bright pink and they love it and they actually ask for it. So that's one, too. Again, we do the Purple Crush smoothie. I do all sorts of smoothies. You can see the smoothie guide that I have just on any podcast page. Literally, you can go to stevencabral.com/1470. Just scroll down the page a bit and you'll see the graphic for the free smoothie guide. Feel free to download that. But that's an easy smoothie, one that the whole family is going to love, and you're going to get your protein, you're going to get your healthy fat, you're going to get your antioxidants, you get your fruit in there. There you go. So if you're interested, there you have it. Super simple. You can add more to it, of course. I like adding other things to my smoothie as well, whether it's the advanced collagen support, etc. I won't go into all of that today, but I did want to share with you dragon fruit, which is one of those fruit that if you haven't heard about before, check it out. I talked about it way back. I believe it was like episode 602. It was in 2017. So I figured now that we're in episode 1470, maybe I'll mention it again. All right. Next up, I want to share with you a product review. So I call it my Earache oil. All right, so if my daughters get an earache, I do a couple different things. So, of course, I'm using the immune protocol that I spoke about last week in episode 1461. I've talked about this many times. Children's immune protocol, use it all the time. They're not Equilibrium nutrition products, but certainly I've linked to them many times of where you can get them. So here's the thing, though. So we're doing that, of course, because we want to treat internally. Again, we're not treating disease. We're working on underlying root causes, pathogens in this area, viruses in this area, bacteria. But what we want to also do is we can treat locally. And again, we're not treating disease. So when I use that word, I say we're not treating disease. We're working on natural health-based remedies. So what we want to say is if there's any bacteria in the air, if there's anything going on in the air, even if inflammatory-wise, there's two different products you can use, okay? So one is made by Nutribiotic, and it's called Airdrops. Very simply put, Airdrops. And it has citrocidal in it. So citrocidal will kill yeast. It will kill bacteria. It's proven to do this, okay? So 2 drops in your child's air. Make sure it goes all the way into that air canal. And then all that you'll do is you'll massage around the air area. You'll also gently pull on the lower air lobe, allow that oil to go in. Again, I massage all around it, and then I will do a hot compress or a hot rice pack on top of that air. Now, why don't I do this? I'll do a hot compress on another show of how we just basically heat rice and put it into a towel and then put it on their air, and my girls love it. If they get an earache, they don't love the earache, but they certainly love the hot compress on the air. You can simply just use a hot washcloth as well. Hot washcloth, hot water on the washcloth, wring it out, and they can put it on top of their air and allow that to really seep into the air. And also, it's nice for calming that inflammation. You'll do that on both airs. If they only have it in one air, you can do one air. We always just do both, right? We just do both because it can move from one air to the other, right? The bacteria doesn't move from one air to the other, but the bacteria is in the body or the inflammation's in the body. So that's what we do. So Nutribiotic Airdrops, or what I also use is this, and I was able to find it for the first time. So I've talked about it many times. I use garlic oil. Now, I've talked about this. Not everybody's going to do it because not everybody wants to make it. All you do is you take a little olive oil in a pan, and then you add some garlic to it. You heat it on low, okay, because you don't want to burn the garlic. You don't want to burn the olive oil. So you're doing it on low. You're adding the garlic in there, basically 1 clove minced up, put it in the oil, allow it to gently cook. And then what you do is you strain that oil so that none of the garlic is in the oil. Okay, so now you allow that to cool, of course, and you can put it in any one of your glass dropper bottles. So we use liquid melatonin in my house, we use children's echinacea in my house, all sorts of things. So we have extra dropper bottles. So all we do is we fill that with the garlic oil, and it's going to stay for a couple months. There's no issue with that. So you're good for the winter. So you can make it yourself, of course. There's no doubt about it, and that works. So again, 2 to 3 drops in your child's ear, and it's absolutely fantastic. So garlic oil is absolutely one of our go-to. But now I found by the company's name is Herb Farm. You've heard me recommend them many times. It's Herb, H-E-R-B. Some people say herb. So when I'm overseas, of course, I have to say herbal. And farm is, in this case, not F-A-R-M, but it's P-H-A-R-M, right? So herbal pharmacy or herbal farm. And it's mullein garlic herbal oil. I'm going to link this up for you. Super simple. It does say for external use only. It is mullein, which is an herb, great for the lungs as well, other things too. But it contains calendula, it contains some St. John's wort, and it contains garlic bulb extract. So really simple, very straightforward, vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free. And you can, certified organic as well, if I didn't mention that. And you can just put 2 to 3 drops in your own ear or your child's ear. But it's mainly kids that are getting earaches. The ear canal is much smaller. Inflammation causes that pain for an easier degree. That's why with airplane flying, the same thing happens as well. So super simple. Some people use this for tinnitus, ringing in the ears, but not a lot of downside again. This is a nice herbal-based product. You can check it out, make the decision that's best for you. But with about 4.5 stars at 1,000+ ratings, for sure, there's at least a lot of good anecdotal evidence there as well. I can tell you that garlic oil for sure works for my daughters, works in my private practice, and I hope that I can pass that along to you today as well. So I will link that up at episode 1470, StephenCabral.com/1470. All right, 2 research studies for you today. Okay, so with this being our Heart Health Month, what I wanted to share with you was some controversial research for sure, but I'll be doing this pretty much every Tuesday or Wednesday for the month of February. Now, the reason why I say it's controversial is this. There's a couple ways to look at it. And again, I always do stay unbiased in these things. When we're talking about diet, we're talking about foods that people should eat. But let me just read you the research first. So keep in mind, this is not a small study. This was done with 537,000 people. Okay, 537,000 people, 500,000+ people. That's a good sized study. And it was led by researchers at the U.S. National Institute of Health. So NIH, right? I mean, that is the spot for research, okay? So National Institute for Health, Bethesda, Maryland, published in BMJ. Okay, so in the British Medical Journal, I believe is the acronym there. But of course, I will link this up. So you won't have to go find the study. I will link it up for you. And you can go to StephenCabral.com/1470 for that. So let me just read the summary to you. People who ate the most red meat had the highest risk of dying from cancer, heart disease, stroke, respiratory disease, diabetes, infections, chronic kidney disease, and chronic liver disease. People who consumed more than 5 ounces per day of red meat had a 26% increased risk of dying during the study versus those who ate less than 5 ounces per week. So, interesting to look at that. 5 ounces it's a small amount. I mean, that's when you look at the amount of red meat, that would be about the size of your palm, okay? So that's all it is. So people who consume more than 5 ounces per day of red meat. So basically, it doesn't have to be every single day that you're eating red meat. But let's say you had 2 palm sizes at each serving when you had red meat. That's probably more likely what people are having, like in terms of a bigger burger or tacos with red meat or a steak or anything like that, okay? So let's just look at that. So that means you would only have to have that about 3 days per week. Okay, now versus those who ate less than 5 ounces per week. So maybe every other week you had a burger. Every other week you had a steak. You don't get the 26% increased risk of dying from cancer, heart disease, stroke, respiratory disease, diabetes, infections, chronic kidney disease, or chronic liver disease. Now, let's play fair to both sides. You could say, well, the people eating the most red meat could also have not been exercising. They might have been smoking, this, that, and the other thing. But keep in mind, this is one of many studies. And that's why I like to share that with you. I don't want you to work so hard to prove yourself right that red meat is healthy for you that you end up dying from one of these diseases, right? I mean, it's not what I want for you. I like a good burger. There's no doubt about it. I like a good steak. Do I eat them that often? Not very often. And the reason is that I believe in the research. I really do. So I can like a food, but not have to justify eating it in any way. I basically just say, listen, because I enjoy the food, like something like bacon, doesn't mean I believe that it's healthy. And I'm not going to find ways to justify it because there's so much research saying the contrary. So if you eat red meat, I just recommend it's no more than once a week, and it's a small portion. I really recommend that. Or if you like a big portion of red meat, a bigger steak or a bigger burger, every other week. Once a month maybe, or every other week. So just look at that. Now, again, did this go through grass-fed, through non-grass-fed? Did it go through green finish to make sure that it's pure all the way through? No, and it is cow's beef. I do want to be fair as well. It's not looking at you having bison. It's not looking at you having elk or another type of red meat. All right, so I do want to be fair. Cow's meat is going to be more inflammatory. So again, when you have red meat, stick more towards your grass-fed, your wild-based game meats, and ones that are less inflammatory. So there's no doubt about it. But I do want to be fair to both sides, and I want to say, regardless, I don't think that you should be loading up on red meat. I really don't. Unless I see a long-term study to the contrary, I don't see it being very good for multiple reasons. And again, please tune in to this coming Tuesday's episode 1474 to share with you much more research on this topic and what the healthiest diet is for hoping to prevent cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, etc. All right, so controversial, I know, but I need to bring you both sides. I really do. I have to be unbiased in that way. And there's a lot of research saying that red meat, probably not a great idea to eat a lot of it, okay? All right, next up is the last piece of research I wanted to bring you today. And this is more of a fun one. And the reason is because I know that was a heavy topic we just went over. But for those people that want to follow a true vegan lifestyle, not just a diet, but a vegan lifestyle, I wanted you to know this because this is not, if you're trying to live truly a vegan lifestyle, this is not really accessible to you right now. But they're coming out with the first vegan-based cars. So Tesla is one. Volvo's Polestar 2 will use all non-animal products throughout the car. That just doesn't include the leather, but it also includes the carpets and everything that goes into it. And also Audi is coming out with a concept car as well in the next couple years. So we have Tesla, Volvo's Polestar 2, and then we have an Audi coming out. So for people that are trying to live more of that vegan-based lifestyle, trying to cut down on animal product use, you can check that out. So that was in automotive news. So simply head on over to, I'll try to link it up for you at episode 1470 today, but you can also just type in automotive news, vegan cars, and those three cars should pop up. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's show. Always a pleasure getting to chat with you, especially as we recap the week. Really enjoy these shows. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for our first host call of the weekend, where we are answering our community's questions each and every weekend. Take care. Feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it can serve. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.